If you have the material still there, what I suggest and what we've recommended at Congoleum is to pull that material back out of the puncture and stretch it back up. And if all the material is still there, you have a very good opportunity of being able to repair this just with a little drop of seam sealer. But you need to clean it out. Obviously, it may have debris or screw gun oil or dirt, and it's down here in final finish and it just looks bad. And if you don't put any sealer in it, it'll continue to look bad. So clean it out, stretch it back up so you don't see the convex or the depression, and stretch it out of there. And if all the material is still there, you really do have a pretty good chance of being able to repair this. Now at Congoleum, we have a seam sealer that's uniquely capable of a long-lasting permanent repair for those little bitty things like that if you don't want to cut it all the way out. It's called SU80 or SU92 seam sealer. And this is just a PVC floor, but it doesn't damage this high-tech welder. I don't recommend you come out here and pour it on the floor by any means, but I want you to recognize that I'm not damaging this vinyl. This vinyl is very hard to damage, even with something this volatile. The reason I put that on there like that, and I just want to kind of smear it out on there, is because I want to show you that later that's just going to dry on there and I can peel it up. That is why I can take a drop of this sealer, and I usually make myself a little palette. I will take a drop of this sealer and put it in this opening. Again, after cleaning it out, opening it up, stretching it back out there, and if all the material is there, you have a very good chance of this working out. And I will take my blade and put a bit of seam sealer in there.
Would that be underneath or just?
Underneath. And if some gets on top, that's fine also. Remember, it's not going to stick to the surface. I already squirt some on the top to kind of show you what will happen. So, primary objective is get it underneath there. And then mesh it together. Do your little mending job and mesh it together, and then let it sit on there for a little while. Clean your blade off. But like I say, it's easy to do, and you get the seam sealer in there and let that coagulate for a few minutes or dry to the touch, which takes about 13 to 15 minutes. Now, I understand that if you don't have 13 to 15 minutes, and this is going to the next station because, hey, we're going to the walls and the cabinets next, we have to move this thing through the plant, we do recommend that you don't wipe this up with a paper towel. I use one wet, but I also use one dry. The dry one here to remove it off the surface. And in a lot of cases, depending on how this looks, sometimes you can use a little bit of Mother Nature here, or the crayon stick, or the blend stick. And depending on the location, I've had a lot of folks tell me, Ed, this is right in the doorway when you're at the dealer, and you step up the steps and there it is. Well, you may not hide it there, but they're not all in that location. If it's in an obscure location, and if you can make it look that good, then that's wonderful.